Hello everybody, Sticks here with the Token Minorities, bringing you another deck on Pokemon TCGO, and today I am bringing you a Gimmick deck centered around Chandelure from Steam Siege. And before I get into the deck, just a reminder that if you like this video or found it helpful, please leave a like, drop a comment, and maybe subscribe. It helps us out a lot and lets us do more for you guys. Now, as for the question of the day, I wanted to ask, what is your favorite Gimmick/Rogue deck? And really, I'm asking, what is your favorite non-top tier deck? But I decided to include Rogue, which I consider to be decks that aren't top tier, but like aren't gimmicks either, or gimmicks which can straight up just be considered like running a Meowth Bats deck like I did for Fates Collide, or this Chandelure deck. So let me know in the comment section below, what is your favorite non-top tier Rogue/Gimmick deck? Well, I guess I phrased that badly. What is your favorite non-top tier deck that can be considered Rogue/Gimmick? Okay, sorry, that took way too long, but anyway, onto the deck. Like I said, this is centered around Chandelure from Steam Siege, 130 HP, so I mean, not bad, with a pretty sexy ability, not gonna lie. Once during your turn, you may look at the top two cards of your deck, put one of them into your hand, and discard the other. So basically, Chandelure's ability is a free Acro Bike, which, in conjunction with its attack, Past Friends, 10/10 for each supporter in your discard pile, those two work together very, very well. Now, obviously, this deck is going to be centered around Past Friends, so I'm going to be running a whole heck of a lot of supporters to try to power up that attack as quickly as possible. And I mean, not going to lie, this deck could be good. I mean, could be good. I know I'm explaining why I'm saying could be, because there are just too many things that you need to run in this deck to make it viable. So, I mean, really, I like it. It's kind of fun to play with, but you need more than 60 cards in order to make this deck as effective as possible, because you need right around 20 supporters. I mean, I think my line is going with 18 or 19 in order for Past Friends to even be doing enough damage to one-shot stuff to where Chandelure doesn't get knocked out itself. So, I mean, that's already a third of the deck. Then you have to run 4/4 at least of the Litwick and Chandelure to make the deck centered around it as your main attacker, and then you have to run like the Rare Candy and the Lampent, and all that stuff really just makes it kind of difficult to run, but when it does work, it is very, very fun. So this deck is centered around this really gimmicky Chandelure, and we're going to see if we can try to make it work. Now, I am doing this in the expanded format just to give us a little more options, and also because the rotation is happening and I really wanted to use Dimension Valley, so that's the excuse I'm going to go with for putting this in expanded, when really it just came down to the fact that I wanted to be able to use Dimension Valley to make Chandelure as effective as possible. On to the Pokemon, I am running 2 Shaman because Shaman is Shaman, like I always say. I'm pretty sure I stole that from like Shakespeare or something like that. Isn't the quote like a rose is a rose? I don't even know. But I'm running 2. You can run more, but like I was saying earlier, this deck just needs more than 60 cards to function properly, or to function most effectively, and you need to throw at least like 17 or 18 supporters in there for Chandelure's, what is it called again, Past Friends, to be able to do enough damage to where it would be significant enough to run a deck around it. So I'm only able to run 2 Shaman. Go ahead and tinker with that as much as you like. That's what I found to be most effective. As for the Chandelure line, I'm running 4-2-4 because I'm running 2 rare candies. You can also run like a 4-3-4 with 1 rare candy, or a 4-1-4 with 3 rare candy. I like to make sure that I at least have a rare candy and a Lampent for every possible Chandelure. You can even run more. I have done that in the past. In fact, normally I like to run 1 more than I have like rare candies, and well, I like to run 1 more Lampent or rare candy combination than I do total attackers. But like I said, again, in this deck there's just not enough space for it, so running 4-2-4 with 2 rare candies. And one thing that's actually kind of cool is this Litwick's attack works perfectly with the deck. I mean, Slightly Simmer. Search your deck for up to 2 cards and discard them. Shuffle your deck afterwards. So you can just search for 2 supporters and throw them into the discard pile. So that really helps the strategy. If only Litwick was a standalone and you could run more of these, but unfortunately, if you want to use Litwick as an attacker, it's probably going to get knocked out pretty soon. So be careful with how you use it, but also sometimes you need to use it in order to get some supporters out. It's really just kind of a, well, like I said again, this deck tries to do a little too much with too few cards. And I'm also running 1 Mewtwo EX because, I mean, Mewtwo is an excellent card. especially if you're running psychic decks, or if you're running a psychic deck. Really doesn't even need to be a psychic deck, but I just wanted an alternate attacker besides Chandelure, one that was kind of bulky to take some hits while I was able to set up my Chandelures, and Mewtwo just fit the bill perfectly. And also you can X-Ball for 1 energy with Dimension Valley, so that's kind of cool. And I'm only running a very, very, very thin 13 Pokemon just because you need to run so many dang supporters and then a good amount of items just to make this deck viable. So very thin Pokemon line, tinker with that if you want. This is what I found to be the most effective, and I use effective with air quotes because there's really nothing too effective about what this deck does. Although, once you get a couple Chandelures up, you really start going pretty fast and hitting for a lot of damage. It's just, it's not fast enough with decks like Darkrai and Night March and stuff like that to where Chandelure just can't really keep up. If it was in an older metagame, then maybe it would be somewhat good, but then again, it would lose VS Seeker, which would lose a lot of its viability. I don't know. I just think Chandelure is just a little too slow, although it is a very, very, very cool card, and I recommend you guys trying it if you want to. On to the items, I'm running 2 Battle Compressor. I really want to run 4. In fact, my first version of this deck I ran 4, but I realized that I needed to put a couple more energy, 1 more Dimension Valley, and then a few more supporters in there. So unfortunately, Battle Compressor got the axe. Again, I want to run 4, but there's just not enough room in this deck for that. 1 Computer Search, because Computer Search gets you literally anything, and I love Computer Search for that, and it helps somewhat with the sketchy consistency of this deck. I mean, you could run Dowsing Machine, but that's almost completely useless because the majority of what's going to be in your discard pile is going to be the supporters, and Dowsing Machine can be okay, but Computer Search just is so far superior to it in this deck in particular. Running 2 Rare Candy, like I said, to be able to get Litwick straight into Chandelure. 1 Super Rod just to get some stuff back, because let's be real, your Litwick, if you have to use Slightly Simmer, is going to get knocked out and just absolutely batted around, so you need to be careful with that. 2 Trainer's Mail, I want to run 4, I really want to run 4, but there's so many supporters that need to go into this deck that Trainer's Mail, like Battle Compressor, did get the axe, so I'm running 2 of them. You can definitely try with like 4 Battle Compressor and no Trainer's Mail, but I don't know, I like Trainer's Mail just because it helps somewhat with the consistency if you're able to draw into them. 4 Ultra Ball to get everything out. I kept the Ultra Balls just because, I mean, you need the Chandelures when you need the Chandelures, and you need the Shamans when you need the Shamans, so I really couldn't afford to get rid of the Ultra Balls. 4 VS Seeker to reuse all of our supporters. Because of Chandelure's past friends, most of your supporters will be in the discard pile, and you have a very, very huge array of supporters to pick from, so I mean, that's one of the pros of this deck, is the fact that VS Seeker can get you almost literally anything you would need for a situation. Now, as for the supporters, I'm running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 supporters. So I was wrong earlier when I said I'm running 18. I'm running 19 to try to get past friends to be able to one-shot some things. I'm running 1 AZ to pick up Shaman. I'm just going to rapid fire this. 1 Battle Reporter just to match my opponent's hand size if they have a huge hand size. 1 Bridget in order to be able to get multiple Litwick out. 1 Giovanni Scheme in case I need that 20 extra damage. 2 Lysander to bring out my opponent's Pokemon to be able to knock them out in 1 hit if I don't have enough supporters to knock out the active Pokemon. 2 Misty's Determination. This is actually a really cool card in this deck because it lets you not only discard something from your hand, which will more often than not be a supporter, so it powers up your attack by using Misty's Determination and discarding in a supporter, so it powers it up by 20 damage, and you can also pick a card from the top 8 cards of your deck, so I mean that helps a lot. We're running 2 N and 4 Sycamore. I really like this draw support line, so that's what I'm sticking with. 1 Pokemon Fan Club to grab like a Mewtwo and a Shaman, or a Litwick and a Shaman, or some combination of that. Basically, just a Bridget that allows you to get EXs. 2 of the Skyla in order to be able to get like Rare Candy or Battle Compressor or Computer Search or something like that. 1 Teammates because your Chandelure and Litwick are going to get knocked out, and they're going to get knocked out early, so it's nice to have a teammate to be able to immediately get exactly what you need. 1 Xerosic to be able to somewhat slow down our opponent if we need to. 3 Dimension Valley in order for Chandelure to be able to attack for 1 energy. 2 Muscle Band because, I mean, this is the same as Misty's Determination in terms of powering up past friends and getting the 20 more damage, and also you don't have to use your supporter. And then, actually, you could definitely tinker with the muscle bands, like get rid of another get rid of one of like the battle reporter or something like that. I just threw that in there because I thought it was a cool card and I wanted to put it in there. And then I'm running only 7 energy, 3 mystery because it gives free treat to Chandelure and Mewtwo, and 4 of the regular psychic energy just to be able to, you know, use regular energy and also attach to Shaman if it is in the active spot. Now you'll notice that I don't have any like switches, escape ropes, or float stones. I mean, I could not afford to in this deck. There just was not enough room, and the mystery energy was what I decided to go for the free treat with the Chandelure and the Mewtwo. But I mean, like I said, this deck could be good. It just does not have enough room for all the stuff that you need in order to make it effective. But anyway, you know what? I'm done rambling and bashing on this deck. Let's just go ahead and see it in action. Alrighty, we have found one against a DKG Draken, I don't know. Maybe it's Dr. Draken from Kim Possible. I'm way too old to be making that reference. But we do lose the coin flip. That is a bit unfortunate. And this match has actually taken me about an hour to find a good one. I mean, I'm hoping this is a good one. I've honestly just been getting like first or second turn knocked out because the deck just takes a little bit too much to get that consistent. So I actually don't start with too bad of a hand. So I don't know, maybe this one will be a good one. We'll see. I mean, of course it'll be a good one if you guys are hearing this, because that means I am recording it and I'm okay with it. So I don't know, whatever, we'll just go with it. Okay, my opponent doesn't start with that good of a hand, and I actually start with something I can work with. So let's go ahead and computer search, get rid of a regular energy and a Giovanni scheme, because I can just super rod the regular energy back in later. I think I'm going to go ahead and grab a Dimension Valley to counter my opponent's Stadium, and that way I can slightly simmer for free, and then I'm just going to go for Bridget. Hopefully get 2 Litwicks. I do not, hopefully get 3 Litwicks. I only get 2 is what I meant to say, and then I can attach the energy to the Litwick on the bench. That way when the Litwick that is active inevitably gets knocked out next turn, I can still potentially have a Chandelure ready to go. And okay, I could sit on my hand, but what I think I'm going to do is just go ahead and get rid of the Misty's Determination and the regular energy to grab a Shaman to really just get as much going this first turn as possible. I mean, this deck is very slow, and you can, even with as many supporters as you have, you can definitely get some bad ones. But what I think I'm going to go ahead and do is Battle Compressor, get rid of probably an N, a Sycamore, and then a Skyla for sure, because that way I will guarantee to have a Chandelure next turn, because what I can do is Ultra Ball for a Chandelure, and then I'm going to go ahead and slightly simmer with my Litwick to get rid of a couple more cards. So, I mean, when this deck gets going, it has some nice synergy. So, yeah, I think an N and a... Actually, you know what? No, I think a Pokemon Fan Club and a Teammates, because I already have an N in my discard pile, and if my Litwick gets knocked out, I don't even have to use the Ultra Ball to get the Chandelure, and what I can just do is Teammates to go ahead and grab a Chandelure and a Rare Candy. So I don't know, I think I'm in a good spot regardless. Well, I mean, as good a spot as you can get with this deck. Actually, you know what? I'm in a good spot in general. I am in a good spot in general. I'm okay with this position. I mean, my Litwick is going to take a little bit of a hit, but all I need this turn is like an energy or something like that. Okay, so go ahead and counter that with a Dimension Valley. Ultra Ball, get rid of the Lysander and the VS Seeker. I think, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and hope that I can draw into the Chandelure and the Rare Candy, and if I don't, well, I can just go ahead and slightly simmer again and get more supporters in the discard pile to start one-shot and stuff, and then just go for a Sycamore, and booyah, Chandelure, Rare Candy. Unfortunately, I don't get the energy that I would need to be able to attack this turn, but I am just going to go ahead and Rare Candy into a Chandelure. Sinister Selection, hopefully get something. No, I don't get anything. I will just discard the Rare Candy because I don't need it, because I already have 2 Lampents up. Put the Muscle Band on the Lampent on the bench, go for a Trainer's Mail, hopefully get something. Well, there's the energy. I could have used that a little while ago, but I think I'm just going to go for a VS Seeker, so I can like VS Seeker or just Misty's Determination for an energy or something like that, but I don't know. I do unfortunately just have to forego this turn, so that is a bit unfortunate. I could have gotten a knockout, and okay, my opponent wastes their supporter on a Delinquent. I can't. That means I'm just going to Misty's Determination, get rid of the Misty's Determination, the VS Seeker, and the Ultra Ball, and then keep the Dimension Valley and the VS Seeker so that I can play down the Dimension Valley again, and then go for a Sycamore to hopefully draw in energy and start knocking stuff out. And oh, that is awesome. I draw into another Chandelure. I'm going to go ahead and play the Dimension Valley down, go for the VS Seeker to grab a Sycamore to draw into 7 cards. And, you know, I tinkered with putting Colress in this deck, but I decided not to, just because Colress, I don't know, it's not as guaranteed of draw support as you want sometimes. And while I could go for the Super Rod now, I think I'm just going to go ahead and hold on to it until like a Chandelure gets knocked out. And while I could keep doing the Sinister Selection, I think is what the ability is called, while I could keep doing that for more cards, I have plenty right now. I have enough stuff in my hand. I have enough supporters in the discard pile, and I do not want to deck out. That is a big thing. And okay, my opponent's going to Enhanced Hammer, get rid of the Mystery Energy. He will be able to knock out the Chandelure, but luckily I have another Chandelure ready to go on the bench. I have a Dimension Valley. I have an Energy ready to go, so I just win right here. You know what? I think I'm just going to go for another Sinister Selection to go for as much damage as possible. I'm going to be that guy right now. Actually, you know what? Nah, I'm not going to be that guy that much. I'm just going to go ahead and Past Friends, knock out the Entei, and we actually win the game. So, I mean, that was really cool. Got the deck going pretty fast despite even going second, so that was a surprise. I mean, granted, my opponent wasn't able to get anything going as well, so that was a bit unfortunate for them. But I don't know, when the deck works like this, I can actually see potential in it. But there are times when I just get completely screwed over by drawing like a Litwick and then just a bunch of the supporters that I can't use. So, I mean, this deck has potential, but like I said before, it just needs more cards. It needs more than 60 cards to be able to function properly. And you know what, at this point, I'm just rambling. Let's just go ahead and try to find another match with this deck. Alrighty, we have found another one. And against Fatalita 1 or something like that. And guys, I'm actually very, very, very disheartened right now because it took another hour. Well, around another hour. I think it was like an hour and 7 minutes to find. Well, I mean, I've been live recording, and then I've just been deleting the recordings because of how badly I've been getting destroyed. So I am saying this at the beginning of every single one of these matches, and I'm hoping that this match won't just be deleted because I'm just getting absolutely destroyed with this deck. But you know what? I have my fingers crossed. I have faith. Then again, I've been saying I have faith for the last 6 matches, but who knows? Something okay could happen. I mean, we'll see. Let's go ahead and Battle Compressor. I actually get a decent hand to start out with. I can go ahead and Sycamore to get 4 supporters in the discard pile. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to go ahead and get double Litwick to just start doing stuff because I have Sycamores in my hand for later. And yeah, you know what? This is okay. This is okay for now. I have Dimension Valley out. I have a Muscle Band on my Mewtwo. The Giratina, if it wants to try to get powered up, my Mewtwo's X-Ball will just be doing more and more damage. And so, you know what? I mean, this is looking promising, and it looks like my opponent's trying to play a Heavy Ball based on the action that is up there. And yep, that is exactly what they played for a regular Rayquaza. So it's like, so I'm facing a pure Dragon deck, I guess, but I saw a Grass type. I don't know. I don't know what the deck strategy is. I mean, it could just be Giratina and then Rayquaza as a non-EX attacker, and my opponent just has to Skyla for a Sycamore. So maybe this is the opening we needed in order to get going or something like that, because we need our opponent to start somewhat slow in order to have a chance. And okay, I am completely fine with this. Let's just go ahead and put a Mystery Energy on Mewtwo. I have to get rid of 2 VS Seekers, which sucks a lot, but actually, you know what? If I'm able to get another Litwick, maybe a Rare Candy, possibly, with the Trainer's Mail, maybe. You know what? A Skyla can be good. A Skyla will do nicely for next turn, and then I'm just going to go ahead and put 60 damage, or 80 damage, on the Giratina with an X-Ball, and if my opponent wants to go for a Chaos Wheel next turn, well, my Mewtwo will survive that hit and be able to just knock the Giratina right back out, so I'm actually in a decent position if I can get a Rare Candy. Well, if I keep my hand, which it looks like I will based on my opponent's Sycamore. Granted, my opponent could be running a red card, at which point that would just make me cry, but who knows. Alright, just goes for the Chaos Wheel, so we will take 2 prizes, and we will actually get a Chandelure up and going, so this match is looking very promising. I'm going to go ahead and play the regular energy onto the Litwick, mostly because, actually entirely because I can't play the special energy thanks to Chaos Wheel, but I'm going to go ahead and Skyla to grab a rare candy maybe? Oh, there's only one rare candy. Ugh. Well, I mean, I could have used another one, but maybe I'll draw one off of the prizes. Let's go ahead and Litwick into a Chandelure, and then go for a Sinister Selection to get rid of... you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and grab the Ultra Ball. It gets rid of an energy, but this way I can Ultra Ball to get a Lampent so I can evolve into a Chandelure next turn and still have the Sycamore ready to go. So, I mean, this is actually a really, really, really great start for me. So I think that this match will not be deleted, and I am so freaking excited about that. Mewtwo will knock out the Giratina, so I will be able to take 2 prizes, and I am just on freaking cloud 9 right now because the deck is actually working the way it's supposed to. I could cry. Actually, I'm already crying, so what point is there in crying more? But, okay, so I'll be able to get another Chandelure up next turn, which is exactly what I wanted, and I only have a couple supporters in there, so I'm not quite ready to one-shot the Rayquaza yet. I will definitely be soon enough, at least when I have 2 Sinister Suggestions going. And I really, really like that ability. I mean, that is, like I said, that is a free Acro Bike. And you can just keep milling through your deck, although you do have to be very careful about how much you mill. And it looks like... Okay, it looks like my opponent is... What the heck does that Dragonite do? I have never seen that one before. Well, I guess maybe Hurricane Tail. I guess that's what they're going for with it. But, okay, that's fine. What I am going to go ahead and do, I think, is play the Chandelure down first and foremost. But then Sinister Suggestion to get a card in my hand. I don't want to get rid of a VS Seeker, but I kind of have to. See, this is where Colress would come in handy, because then I wouldn't have to discard it. Ooh, Computer Search. I can definitely work with that one. Yeah. Gonna go ahead and Computer Search, get rid of the Ultra Ball and the N to grab. I'm not even sure what I'm gonna grab. I don't even know. Maybe a Battle Compressor. Yeah, you know what? I think that's a good idea. Go ahead and Battle Compressor to get some more in my discard pile. I, again, don't have enough to knock out the Rayquaza in one shot yet, so I need to put more in there. Let's throw a Lysander in, another N, and then a Teammates. Yeah, just throw those 3 in there. Go ahead and, ooh, I still have my supporter for the turn. That is nice. I'm going to go ahead and play the other energy onto that Chandelure just in case my opponent gets rid of the Dimension Valley. And then I'm going to go ahead and, you know what, Misty's Determination. I know it'll get rid of the Sycamore, but I'll have to discard that Sycamore, hopefully get something that I can work with, and you know what, screw it. We're discarding a Sycamore to grab a Sycamore with Misty's Determination. That turn was completely about getting more supporters into the discard pile, and now that I have enough, just retreat into Chandelure and knock out the Rayquaza and take another prize. So we are definitely in the driver's seat now, and I even get a Muscle Band to throw onto my Chandelure to start just smacking that Dragonite and knocking it out. Well, hopefully, okay, my opponent only does 50 damage, gets heads. That's a little unfortunate, so he discards an energy, but I still have the Dimension Valley in place, so it's not that big of a deal, and I even draw another Dimension Valley if I wanted it. And see, I'm going to Sinister Suggestion again, maybe, and grab the Super Rod. Again, you need to be careful about how often you use Sinister Suggestion. I'm doing it now because I have a double-digit deck, and I'm in a position where I'm doing just fine, and I don't need to worry about the number of cards I have left. So let's go ahead and play the energy right there. You know what? I have 2 energy that I can go ahead. You know what? I could have, but just in case the Chandelure gets knocked out, actually I like that play a lot better. I'm going to go ahead and wait, sit on my hand. I have plenty of damage on the board. That is all I need. And I even get a Zero-Sick that I can discard next turn with a Sycamore if I want to, and my opponent has a 2-card hand. So I really, really think we might just be able to pull this out. And, okay, a Great Ball, so... Alright, this looks like a deck that my opponent... Wow, he even got a Dragonite off that. This looks like a deck that my opponent's just getting a daily challenge done with, and that kind of confirms it that he evolves and then scoops. But you know what? I'm okay with that. That was a very, very good match. It showed you exactly what the deck was supposed to do and the synergy that goes into the deck with all of the Pokemon. So you know what? I'm okay with that. I definitely going to end it there. I don't think I can spend another hour narrating and then deleting battles, so sorry that this will be a little bit shorter. I mean, it'll still be around 25 minutes, but you know what, guys? Thank you very, very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Leave your comment in the comment section below. I don't even remember. Oh, that's right. That's what the question of the day was. What is your favorite rogue/gimmick deck that is not top tier? And yeah, thanks again for watching. This is Styx, signing out. Why not? See you guys.